Welcome to Startup Hack. Today we're taking a sharp look at some recent comments made by Kamala Harris about corporate taxes and comparing them with the timeless wisdom from Ronald Reagan. This was wisdom that he gave us over 50 years ago and has been proven over and over again. Let's jump in because Reagan makes this crystal clear decades ago. When government raised taxes and we all pay, and sometimes we pay a lot more than we realize. Let's dive in today. All right, welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer Thomason here at Startup Hack. We'd love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps and build custom software solutions for companies. I do a lot of work as a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and a solid 25 years of software development, I've mastered the art of transforming technology teams and products. All right, so let's face it, Kamala's recent push for raising corporate taxes is not anything new. But what she might not realize is that Reagan dismantled this logic over half a century ago. I'm not talking about a decade, half a century ago. His approach was straightforward. The government isn't the solution, it's often the problem. Today, I'll share why raising corporate tax rates hurts everyone and explore how Reagan's timeless advice has held up and proven true. Now, Kamala talks about fair share and billionaires paying up, but Reagan has a much clearer view. Every dollar in corporate tax isn't paid by corporations, it's paid by us. Reagan's classic line, every tax on business is just part of the cost of production, and the customer winds up paying it. It's a hidden sales tax on everything we buy. The more government taxes businesses, the more we feel it in higher prices. And if you think that's bad, well, Reagan warned us 50 years ago. Now, when the government raises corporate taxes, businesses pass that cost down the line. This means that when you're buying a product, you're also paying for those extra taxes layered into the price. It's a burden on families, especially those who can't afford it. Reagan understood that every dollar taken from business actually hurts consumers. And here's the irony. By targeting big business, the government ends up hurting the little guy the most. Let's flip over and we're going to take a listen to Ronald Reagan himself with this timeless classic here. So let's listen to this here.
Now, you asked for what was the greatest disappointment. The people handed it to us when I think they were deceived, but when they voted down the tax limitation plan. I still say that the answer to our problems in this country, even at the national level, is to have a law that says there is a percentage limit of the people's earnings that government cannot go beyond without the consent of the people.
I didn't agree with it then. Let's go now.
Well, you're talking about the gross income of the country and how much they can appropriate for
That's right.
For federal projects.
See, when you and I were boys back in the Midwest,
right,
governments, federal, state, and local, were only taking about 15 cents out of every dollar earned. Today, they're taking almost half of every dollar earned in the United States. And most people don't realize it because the taxes are hidden in the so-called business taxes. You know, the politician that stands up and yells, oh, let's save the little man, let's tax business, and everybody yells hooray. But they haven't figured out that every tax on business is just a part of the cost of production. And the customer winds up paying it when he buys the product. It's a hidden sales tax. There's 116 of them in the suit of clothes that each one of us is wearing.
Suppose a lot of economists have suggested, and I don't know that it'll ever come to be in this country, that if they closed all of the loopholes and for corporations and maybe tax loopholes and even on the rich certain loopholes and made a percentage income and made a flat fee without all of the deductions, that the government might raise as much money as they do now.
Oh, sure. And really, the loopholes, this has been overdone by the politicians, too.
No.
The bulk of the money that is taken by what are called loopholes are the legitimate deductions with which, if the people didn't have them, they couldn't pay their income tax. Interest on their mortgage, interest on the installments on their car, their property taxes on their home, if they have one, and so forth. These are, in politicians' eyes, loopholes. But we ought to have tax reform, and we ought to start by making it so simple that you don't have to hire a lawyer to find out how much you owe every year.
All right, so that's enough of that, but we'll definitely can see that Ronald here was teaching us a principle that was true 50 years ago, and it's still just as true today. This hasn't changed. Now, Harris urges that corporations aren't paying their fair share, and we'll listen to her here in just a second here, because I don't want you to think I'm taking it out of context. But who defines fair share? Ronald Reagan believed that government limit on taxation was essential to economic health, and this has been proven time and time again. He famously said, "The government can't tax business. It can only tax people because businesses pass taxes on to us. Higher corporate taxes are essentially higher living costs." Harris's plan, it's financial boomerang that lands squarely on the American families. So when you hear her say that she's fighting for the middle guy, if that were true, she would not be trying to tax corporations. Raising corporate taxes may sound like a solution to the deficit, but history has shown it doesn't work. Don't believe me? Go look at the Carter administration, which Reagan was working to clean up. Reagan argued for lower taxes to stimulate growth, not just for corporations, but for the economy as a whole. The truth is, a strong economy with reasonable tax rates yields more government revenue than sky-high taxes ever could. Reagan said it best: balancing the budget is like protecting your virtue. You have to learn to say no. Reagan was classic at some of this. Now, if your company has systems that aren't connected, let us help you out, because here at Startup Pack, our specialty is connecting systems to help your company work like a well-oiled machine. So check out startuppack.com/Spencer and we can help you out. Now, Reagan's policies reduced the size of government in California, balancing the state's budget while lowering taxes. His success wasn't just luck. It was proof that smaller government works. He believes in creating an environment where people keep more of their earnings, which spurs economic growth. The takeaway: sometimes the best thing the government can do is step back and let free market capitalism do its thing. So economic common sense, Reagan has proven success here. Now, when corporate taxes go up, it's not just the prices that go up, it's jobs that go down. Higher taxes lead companies to cut costs, often cutting jobs or reducing hiring. Reagan noted that, quote, "Every tax increase on business eventually hits American workers." In a world where businesses can easily relocate, higher tax pushes companies out, leaving fewer opportunities here at home. Less investment in the U.S. won't hurts workers, and it's sometimes and it's something that Harris is totally overlooking here. Now, in Reagan's time, high taxes were crippling American business. He came onto the scene post-Carter. By lowering them, he revitalized the economy, leading to an economic boom. The Reagan years saw incredible growth, proof that tax cuts work. Harris wants to raise taxes on corporations, but Reagan's playbook shows that cutting taxes makes America more competitive. In Reagan's own words, quote, "We tripled our troubles and we're still better off than any people on earth." So Reagan's tax cuts revitalized America. Now, it's not just mega corporations that bear the brunt of corporate taxes. Small businesses, the backbone of America, also feel the pinch. Reagan understood that small businesses power local economies, create jobs, and fuel innovation. Higher taxes hit these small businesses, and I can definitely attest to this. Higher taxes is going to mean that I can hire less. When corporate taxes raise, it's not the billionaires who feel it first, it's the small business owners on Main Street. So Reagan's policies were about empowering individuals, allowing everyone a fair shot at the American dream. And let's talk about the American dream. The American dream never has anything about handouts. It has to do with the government getting out of the way and people being able to work from nothing up to something. That's what the American dream is. He famously joked, "The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, 'I'm from the government and I'm here to help.'" Lower taxes gives people the opportunity to pursue their dreams without government interference. By keeping corporate taxes low, we keep more money in the pockets of the consumers, and the economy thrives. So, lest you think I'm taking Kamala's words out of context, let's get Kamala loaded up here,
tax credit,
and
or you
we
mentioned
can
housing
listen to
before,
Kamala
getting
say
that
it
extra
firsthand,
money for a
so you
first
don't
home.
think that I'm making
If you can't
this
raise
up. So let me get this queued up here 1 second, and all right, let me get that switched over. All right, straight from her mouth.
Getting that child tax credit, or you mentioned housing before, giving that extra money for a first home. If you can't raise corporate taxes, or if GOP takes control of the Senate, where do you get the money to do that? Do you still go forward with those plans and borrow?
Well, but we're going to have to raise corporate taxes, and we're going to have to make sure that the biggest corporations and billionaires pay their fair share. That's just it. It's about paying their fair share. I am not mad at anyone for achieving success, but everyone should pay their fair share. And it is not right that the teachers and the firefighters that I meet every day across our country are paying a higher tax than the richest people in our country.
Bill Gates.
So, I mean, you hear it straight from her. She's even saying that the teachers, them, etc., what she is completely missing here is that her tax on the teachers and the firefighters and all those, they're paying these higher prices. You can't even take your family out to McDonald's anymore because it's too expensive because of a lot of the tax implications. It's not complicated. Tax increase leads to price increases, which hurts consumers. Reagan knew this, and so did economists of his time. Harris may talk about fairness, but economics does not work on feelings. When the government interferes too much, we all lose. Reagan's advice to limit government involvement holds true even today, 50 years later. These are basic economic principles. Reagan was right to trust the free market. It has a way of solving problems without government meddling. Harris's solution: more government, more taxes. But as Reagan said, government isn't the solution, it's the problem. We don't need new taxes. We need more freedom from business, for businesses and individuals. Less government, more opportunity. That's what keeps America strong. Now, what are your thoughts? I love having a great, healthy discussion, and obviously this time of year, we need to all make sure we can disagree without being disagreeable. I love having a great discussion, so make sure to leave a comment down below, and make sure to like and subscribe, because here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers in our licensed coding boot camps and to build custom software solutions. So reach out, because we'd like to help. Check out startuphack.com/Spencer today, and make sure you get out to vote, because that's super important. It's important to make sure that you're out to vote, and we will catch you guys next time. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, because we bring you lots of great tutorials and tips that every developer should know. See you next time.